Yeah.
Physical service.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm first. Somehow.
Oh, this is not.
Okay, it's 6:30. I'd like to call the meeting of Physical Services Committee to order on Monday, May 18th, 2026. Could I have a roll call, please?
Counselor Meyer,
Here.
Counselor Plunkett.
Here.
Counselor Ashline.
Here.
Counselor Kennedy.
Here.
Could I have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 4th, 2026 committee meeting, please? Counselor Ashline, Counselor Plunkett. Roll call, please.
Counselor Meyer,
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Ashline.
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy.
Yes.
Okay, I don't see any old business. Under new business, authorizations. First item, the Zoning and Planning Office has received a request for use of public space from Mr. Barry Dawson, owner of a single-family dwelling located at 230 West 8th Street, in order to replace an existing concrete step. Is there anyone here? I met with Jeff McGann today. The gentleman is putting an addition on the back of his house, and what he wants to do, the right-of-way goes right up to his eaves. So what he wants to do is just extend the porch, the step area to a 4x6, and he's going to put a roof over it so it's easier to get in the house. Improvements are going to be nice. It's going to improve the neighborhood, so it looked pretty good to me. Any questions? Motion? Oh, Counselor Kennedy, Counselor Plunkett. Roll call, please.
Counselor Meyer,
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Ashline.
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy.
Yes.
Item 2, the Zoning and Planning Office has received a request for use of public space from Oswego Hospital regarding the property located at 110 West 6th in order to install bike racks. Mike.
Good evening, councilors. So Oswego Hospital is looking to come off the sidewalk with a 14 by 14 concrete pad to install these, call them a pedestal style bike rack. Your typical bike rack, they're having problems. The e-bikes don't fit in them. They've got bigger tires, they're bulkier, so it's just, and they're finding a lot of people that are coming and going from the hospital are using e-bikes, so it's to make it easier on them, really.
Yeah, I was with Jeff McGann this afternoon, and the public space is basically comes out between where the building is and the sidewalk. It's about halfway between the sidewalk and the building. They want to put a concrete pad down, and it looks pretty good. They want to go corner to corner to accommodate the bigger bikes. Any questions? Have a motion, please? Counselor Ashline, Counselor Kennedy, roll call, please.
Counselor Meyer,
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Ashline.
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy.
Yes.
Thanks, Mike. Item 3, the Office of Economic Development has received a request from Gina Holsapple for the use of public space to host the Gina Marie Music Studio Festival on July 19th, 2026 and August 2nd, 2026 from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Is there anybody here to talk about that? Let's see, from my notes, I thought she was supposed to be here. Let's see, it's item 3. I guess she's not here tonight, so I don't really have too much information on it. Anybody's got any questions? I don't know if I can answer them or not. Could I have a motion? Councilor Plunkett?
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't see it in the packet yet. Where is the public space that she's requesting?
I don't know if Abby has any information on it. You don't? I tried, like I say, I gave her a call and she said she was going to be here, so.
I think in the application it identifies the pocket park,
Okay.
which is the space between the buildings on Water Street.
On Water Street?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a smaller space between the coffee shop and
Thank you.
It does say pocket park.
Any other questions? Want to get a motion? Councilor Plunkett, Councilor Ashline. Roll call, please.
Counselor Meyer.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Ashline.
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy.
Yes.
Item 4, the Office of Economic Development has received a request for use of public space from Diane Catalone to host a wedding ceremony at Brightbeck Park on Saturday, August 8th, 2026 from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I called Miss Catalone. She couldn't be here tonight, but she kind of gave me a feel-good story. They met at Breakbeck Park, and they met on the 8th. So it was the date is important for her because the ceremony will be on the 8th. August is the 8th month. In 26, she said 2 plus 6 is 8. So the dates all come up with 8. So she was pretty excited about it. Any questions? Motion, please. Counselor Ashline, Counselor Kennedy. Roll call, please.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Item 5, the city clerk's office has received a request from Elizabeth Allen on behalf of Rachel's Warrior Run in order to place 30 signs along popular roadways in order to promote an upcoming 5K. I talked with Craig Rebior, and he said that it's been done in the past. He doesn't see any problem with it. Any questions? Yes.
My only concern, it's 30 signs for 2.5 months. That's a lot of signs
Yes.
in a long duration. I'm wondering if that should be shortened to 6 to 8, maybe 6 weeks, and maybe limit it to like 20 signs, because I'm not 100% clear on where the locations will be for the signs.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
So I'm not hearing what you're saying about the concern.
So it's listed as the signs will be out for 2.5 months, and there's going to be 30 of them. So I'm wondering what the locations are for the 30 signs, and if we could maybe limit that down maybe to like 20 or so, something.
Absolutely. I'm thinking, down, is it Utica Street that goes by the high school and Canales? Which street?
Utica Street?
Is it Utica Street?
Yeah.
Okay, so down that street, then up 104 by the college, across the bridge on East Bridge Street, going, all the way to the plazas, the shopping plazas up there. Those areas is what I'm thinking.
So mostly in like in front of businesses or corners.
Yes, and then there'll be some, like, people that we know that will place them in their yards.
Okay.
But not on, on their personal, private property.
Okay. Is there a way to possibly, like, instead of like 2.5 months, maybe reduce that time?
Sure, 2 months. So the race is August 22nd, so June 22nd. I mean, we want to get as much participation. The signs help us get the word out about the event. So, I could limit or, reduce it down to June 22nd-ish.
Anyone else have thoughts on that?
Any more comments, questions? Go ahead, Laura.
The only thing I was gonna say is, would it help if you, like, the day after or whenever registration closes, you pick up those signs immediately? Yeah,
Yeah,
It's on there, right?
just
yeah, we
make
did
sure.
Yeah,
last
it's
year,
the
and the signs were
23rd.
picked up the
Got-
day of
Yeah.
the race. After it was over. I have a picture of the signs if you want to look at them.
Yeah, I think,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that was included.
It was
yeah.
included.
Anyone have any comments about amending this to 20 signs instead of 30?
Down to 2 months.
And down to, from, you said July 20, or June 22nd to August 23rd?
August 23rd would be the day after the race, and the signs would be picked up, no later than the 23rd, August 23rd.
And you'll maintain the signs, right? So like if a sign gets blown over or damaged, you'll maintain them?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, you
Any
guys.
other
I really
comments?
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll need to amend the resolution as it stands to amend the time from June 22nd to August 23rd, and the amount of signs from 30 to 20. Let's see, so I do a motion on that, correct, Kevin?
Yes.
So could I have a motion on to amend the Counselor Plunkett, Counselor Ashline? Nice, guys. Could I have a roll call, please?
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes to amend.
Counselor Kennedy?
No.
Okay. All right. Item 6. Oh, now we got to do the, now we have to do the,
Let me, point of order, yeah, I would recommend that now that the motion to amend was adopted, then you would
put a motion on.
put a motion as amended to take that vote. And then I also have a point of procedure. Ms. Hosoppel's here for item number 3. I know that you approved and I informed her, but if you'd like to know about her event, she's here.
Okay, we can have her come up after we finish this. Okay, could I have a motion to carry the amended motion of June 22nd to August 23rd and 20 signs? Motion, please. Counselor Ashline, Counselor Plunkett. Roll call, please.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
No.
Ms. Holsapple, if you'd like to come up and give us a brief description of what's going on.
Yes, thanks.
Okay.
The festival is to highlight our student bands alongside of Central New York performers, and it's just a Sunday afternoon, and we'd like to use the Pocket Park. We have a couple of small vendors that line up along the sides, keeping the spaces clear, but and then folks bring in lawn chairs, and we set up just like a little tarp over a stage area, and then they perform alongside Central New York professional musicians for the afternoon. So we run from 1 to 5. We set up around 11. We're cleaned up by 6. And it's a nice opportunity, and folks walking by can stop in and listen and that kind of thing.
Sounds like fun.
It's a good event, and we have a good time. The kids love it, and so
Great. Well, thank you.
That'd be great.
thank you. I appreciate it.
No
I think
problem. Item 6. The city clerk's office has received a request from the Oswego Rotary Club for use of public space in order to install a peace pole at Veterans Park. Would you like to speak, please?
Yes, good evening. My name is Terry Gorman. I'm a part of the Oswego Rotary Club along with Selma Sheridan, Dave Granoff, and Sabine Ingerson. So the Peace Pole Project is a global initiative to promote peace and unity across cultures and communities. The project was founded by Mahisha Goel in Japan in 1955, following the devastation of World War II. His vision and message of may peace prevail on earth has been shared across the world. More than 250,000 peace poles have been planted so far. One of Rotary's focus areas is peace building. This is one of the reasons our club is interested in sharing this idea with the Oswego community. And we believe that when people work together to create peace, it can change the community and have a global effect. Several Rotary clubs in Central New York have already participated in this initiative. For example, the Fulton Rotary Club planted a peace pole last fall at the Veterans Park. Inspired by such efforts, members of the Oswego Rotary Club would like to sponsor and install a peace pole in the city of Oswego at Oswego Veterans Park. The Veterans Council of Oswego has approved our request to have the peace pole installed at the Veterans Park. The 8-foot pole has the message, "May peace prevail on earth," in multiple languages. We have suggested selecting English, Polish, French, Irish, Gaelic, Italian, German, and Spanish to reflect the languages of these people who settled in Oswego, as well as the Haudenosaunee nation. We've also have other suggestions of other languages to perhaps to consider. We're limited to 8 items, though. The poll is a reminder to cultivate peace in thought, work, and action. We'd like to see this poll dedicated at a community ceremony, including dignitaries, community leaders, and the public. The ceremony usually includes opening remarks, music, prayer, thoughts on peace, and to foster a collective spirit of goodwill, planting, unveiling, and refreshments. We are seeking the support of the City of Oswego for this initiative.
I talked with Commissioner Revior earlier about this, and he said there'd be no problem finding a place to put it down in Veterans Park, so I think we should go with it. Yeah. Yes, John.
If I could add, I know that Councilor Lautensack and I met early on in the
Yes,
process.
yes.
And the Rotary Club was very accommodating to think through what the best siting of this would be. And, you know, I see Dr. Sheridan, Sabine Ingerson, and Dave Granoff and yourself here representing the club. You know, and I think the Rotary has always thought globally but acted locally in the service to others. So, you know, I'm happy to be able to support, or the council will be able to support this initiative and I think it's an important message to the community.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Councilor Kennedy.
We spoke a little while ago before the official meeting, but if I'm having any suggestions, I'm all for this initiative, but you know, obviously English, the Haudenosaunee language, and some of our Middle Eastern families like Arabic would be a great initiative. I work with communities up at Syracuse, and that's one of the big communities up there is Arabic speaking. So that would be one of my recommendations.
Yes.
For one of the 8 languages that could be on the poll. So.
Well, we still have time to select the languages, and we can have further discussion on narrowing the choices of the languages that are being considered.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Questions? Do I have a motion, please? Councilor Plunkett, Councilor Ashline. Roll call, please.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 7, City BOCES art educator Laurel Lautensack, in partnership with the Oswego Department of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, the Oswego Fire Department, and local community mental health organizations, request approval of a proposal for use of public space to implement a community public art initiative. Councilor Lautensack.
Ooh, it's not gonna fit. Okay. Good evening, council. Should I turn this to you or should I just leave it like it is? We'll just do the split. As some of you know, and others do not, I'm an art educator, and I work at City BOCES. I have the pleasure of serving along many people, but the people in particular I service on a daily basis are those struggling with behavioral issues, IEP issues, and mental health issues. So I have reached out to the commissioner and the chief, but starting at the age of 10, the second highest cause of death in that age from 10 to 24 is death by suicide. As many of you are aware, there have been multiple cases recently in our community about this. So this is kind of a collaboration project in regards to that for students to work with the city as well as the community to create a visual installation of what might bring hope to someone else. So in order to survive, you have to have 3 basic things. And I'm gonna argue that you would have to have water, physical shelter, and food, right? Protection, safe space. But you also need something called hope, right? So this is an opportunity to provide emotional support to someone and give someone purpose, right? Because to physically be able to have someone be safe doesn't mean that they're mentally safe, okay? So as you know, when you walk outside, you can see fire hydrants, and they are painted usually red. There's different colors for tops, which we'll go through, but this is an opportunity within our community that's there already to bring a little bit light to something that you might pass by and give you a moment of hope. And there's a physical thing to it, but we're thinking about changing the concept of providing a water and making it from strictly use of water, but an opportunity of distress. Water is more brings life, right? So allowing that to change that. The safety feature, it physically protects the property, but this will allow people to protect their emotional health. Accessibility, this is highly visible, right? But this will be seen more by being different than traditional. So the collaboration would be from the visual perspective, the SEL, which is social emotional perspective, and then the civil perspective. allowing students to take their visual art to a different location and being seen while providing some services with the civil aspect of it. Everything that we do is going to go through the DPW alongside with the fire department, and then we're actually partnering with mental health providers in the community to raise all the funds for this. So there's no cost involved. It's like three-way partnership along with BOCES to be able to provide this project. So the timeline, how this works, students come up with ideas. We bring it to you to get your approval for this. Anything that the students do then goes to the DPW and fire department for their approval, and then it gets installed and paid by the mental health organizations. Like I said, all approvals are through the BTW and fire department. We're going to partner with them to bring in the actual codes. And one of you guys can talk to more about this, but these are the code colors that have to be on our fire hydrants, which some of them are not. So all these fire hydrants that we use will be tested. They'll be color coded correctly, and then the design will come down here. This is not a new idea. That's the timeline, but it has been implemented in many cities, including Tallahassee, Florida. I don't know how to say this, Depot, Illinois, Pennsylvania, and California. It's been implemented throughout much of the nation. And it's just a different way of looking at things. So these are some examples. These are obviously blue firefighters, which means blue is it's the best. Okay, it's the best. There we go. So it's an ecosystem with students, our community partners, the passerbyers for bringing hope, and then providing that. And we have some examples of what students have drawn. So this is the packet they were given. This is not a packet of just draw art on anything. They each took their time of the message that they want to do this. And I'm going to share this one with you. This is by a 9-year-old that goes to a day treatment program who is there for mental health. So for her, this is a very important factor on a daily basis. The idea, I don't know if anyone from the community wants, I got extra copies if anyone wants to look at them. Any takers? No? Okay, so they come up with an idea, right? And her idea is that everyone is different and unique, and that's what makes you special, okay? So then she goes on to her project. Her project outline is that mental health is a priority. Her theme is that we're going to grow, provide hope, kindness, nature, a community, resilience, friendship, and peace. Her message is that you matter, keep going, be kind, growth through strength takes time, stronger together or you belong. So her statement, her artist statement is, she wants to provide love, peace, and kindness and positivity. This is her drawing. Obviously it doesn't have the color code, but we all have that, okay, that she came up with. And on the back, this is why she did this. This was done literally the other day. I have another example from an advanced start student. I think this one's really cool. And it has probably like 30 different messages on it as to why today matters. Both of these students are at the day treatment program. Here's also the last thing I have for you, which is the guide for both the physical safety and the why it's important. Do you guys want to talk to anything with this? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, what questions? Go ahead, Shane, hit me.
Counselor Thompson.
Thank you. So it doesn't list which hydrants or how many. Could you share which ones you're looking at currently? And I think it'd be great if we specifically list those, so that way it's more contained.
Like I said, every single thing that we do has to go through both of these guys. One for approval for both the testing, to make sure it has the right color codes on it, and also the location. And that, not that I would ever send anything that wasn't an appropriate design, but that way they're also checking for that as well. My initial thought was down by where the death by suicides have happened originally or lately, by the waterfront, but we are open to their suggestions and whatever.
So do we have any ideas which ones we're going to target and how many?
Sounds like you have a place you would like them to go.
I don't. I'm just wondering what you guys had in mind.
Don't have any suggestions yet. As Lon suggested, you know, obviously we want high visibility areas. We're thinking downtown areas near where our recent tragedies have happened are probably good locations. We do need, as she mentioned, we do need to go out and test the hydrants, make sure they have adequate flow, make sure it's a working hydrant. You know, if we don't want to, if we need to replace the hydrant, we don't want to have someone paint it, and then we're, you know, 6 months from now we end up replacing the hydrant. That would be terrible. So we're trying to keep that from happening. I do want to mention the AWA color code is not a requirement. It is a suggested code. We did look into that. There is no requirement to paint the barrels or tops. When we decided that having the top painted the correct color is most beneficial to the fire department. That helps them identify quickly. It's a visual. They're responding to a fire. They see that blue top, they know they're going to get the most water out of that. The next would be green, and then it's orange and red. The only color where we direct them to stay away from is black. Black indicates a fire hydrant that's out of service, so we don't want to identify a working hydrant as being out of service. Assuming council supports this and we get this passed, and then we'll get out there and do some testing, find some good locations. I don't know how many.
4 to 5 for this year. That's it.
4 to 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Will we try to avoid like residential areas and stick to mainly like maybe downtown parks?
I think that's the best bang for the buck, but we're open to whatever. Like, for example, if this is a great initiative and we love this initiative and we want to partner with this, we go Renaissance at some point in time and do it in their area, that's a different opportunity kind of thing.
I think let's call this phase one. You know, the first year of this, the inaugural year of this, we start in commercial, business, or parks. And then if people want to see this, you know, part of the Renaissance, so if people want to see this in the neighborhoods, we can certainly have that discussion and expand it going forward.
Okay.
Everything would come back here for approval for that.
Okay. What if someone, like a homeowner, wants to paint their own fire hydrant? Do we plan to allow that in the future?
They would have to come to council for approval, otherwise that is vandalism.
Okay. Now, I think the cap has to be the specific color. Does that include the dome as well, or just the very top part?
Yeah, the top is high turn on and off, so not the very top, but yeah, the top.
We would just move the design. It would be like
top
that.
barrel.
Yeah.
The dome, okay.
It was just the kids marking it, yeah.
Yeah.
The top of the hydrant is the bonnet. Whether you see that's the operating nut. The operating nut color doesn't matter. That's where the wrench goes. That's going to get worn off as they turn. If they use the hydrant, that's not going to be. It's this part here, and the top bonnet. That's the indicating color of the flow of that hydrant. Anything below that is fair game. The code suggests caps are painted the same color as the cap, but again, the firefighter, they're responding to the call. They're looking for that blue cap.
So there's two things. What the commission's talking about is, what the AWA.
The American Water Works Association.
And then there's the ISO. So we're motivated to improve our ISO rating, which will lower primarily commercial insurance rates, but also would affect residential rates. So we would want to be sure that we already reached out preliminarily to ISO to get their opinion on it, if it would affect our rating. and they suggested we paint the tops and the two barrels. But we can double check with them exactly what they want to see.
Now, do you have any concerns about response time? Because obviously every second matters in a fire, and they're not going to be standard now. And I know we work with other departments for mutual aid. So do you have any concerns in that realm?
Not so much response time, but we try to identify the best flow as we're going by. We do have these mapped on an app that we all have. A lot of times we don't have time to look at the tablet in the fire trucks on the way, but we're generally grabbing the closest hydrant, either laying in or the second engine's laying in or something. So if we do have some areas, we have options like the corner of like downtown. There's several fire hydrants on East First and Bridge. Same thing with East First and Utica. So we're looking for the tops to grab the best one. In a more residential area, options are limited. Usually, you're typically finding these on the corners, and we're grabbing the closest one. Sometimes they're mid-block in somebody's front yard, but so we're generally looking for the closest one. As far as the colors, like the commission said, we just want to stay away from anything dark. We want these to stand out. NFPA recommends even a band, some kind of reflective band. A lot of times you see reflective rings on hydrants, which helps. Other than that, my only concern would be when they're painted, we probably want to have somebody there. We'll use that opportunity to put some never-sees on the threads, flush the hydrant, make sure that the threads don't get painted, make sure, and then make sure it's in good working order like the commission said. So.
And we're going to use high-quality paint that's going to last how many years?
I don't know how long paint lasts on the hydrants.
There's how many hydrants, Commissioner?
963 or 8.
So we don't get the, they need paint for sure. There's it's a full-time job, and that's something to flow and test them and paint them every year, so they don't all get painted every year, but it just depends, if they, sometimes the paint wears off pretty quick, so I don't know how long the designs will last and how long they will.
It's okay.
You can figure out a plan, if they start looking like
Sure.
garbage, then you have to paint over them.
Yep.
So it is a good, I like the partnership aspect of it. I think we can figure out the public safety. And I would say that we have turned down residents before that wanted to paint their hydrant. We've had a couple people over the years, we've gone back and forth. We get a phone call, hey, this person painted their hydrant green again, the whole thing, because it matched their house, and we have to go up there, and the city has to go up there and repaint it. That would be one concern of mine, is what do we tell residents when they come back? If we tell them no, how does that look on us?
They come through the council.
Yes.
Yep. Sounds like a good potential program, and might be a good year to try it out and see how it works. Key thing is making sure, no paint on the threads, and, you could open up the valves, okay. That's probably the most important piece.
A small number, if it's a small number in a certain geographic area, we can set out, directly to our people, hey, this is what we're doing, it's a community project. Like the council said, it's not uncommon to find these. Oswego Town has one on the corner of 720 that's painted purple for a particular reason. So it's not uncommon, a small number, manageable, that we can tell our people, hey, this certain block or this certain street, we take some pictures and just send out the flows.
Thanks.
Councilor Fitzgibbons?
Great. I think the increased attention to the hydrants is a positive byproduct of this. I think the testing is also very good to verify. I think it's, from a pilot point of view, if it did have traction, it might be a good opportunity to which, in the traditional neighborhoods, if those were ever embraced, that we would ask for an adoption of a hydrant, not only for the aesthetics of its colors and the mission to which it serves, but the maintenance, because I know the fire department in January wouldn't mind to have a few partners working some of these hydrants as they're shoveling snow. So
Sure.
if we could get neighbors to take better ownership and own the process, you know, and maybe this is a gateway to start the conversation, you know, I would be for it. You know, I think that, you know, a 4 hydrant start, let's see what that does. But I think, you know, if it does, instead of having it open up, maybe the gateway is the partnership. And if there's a desire to do that, there's a participation in the 12 months of maintenance of the hydrant. We'd ask for a group of neighbors if they had that interest.
We have great support from our residents. I know Mr. Tynan on the corner of 8th and Albany in my neighborhood, he runs a snow blower around that fire
Yep.
hydrant every time it snows. So my neighborhood does a great job clearing out the hydrants.
So more public acknowledgement of that, where we talk and make it okay for people to do that.
Yep.
Empower people that this is all part of being a neighbor. You know, so.
Counselor Kennedy, or Thompson.
I just want to add, like, if we could in the future, because I see this as a multi-year thing,
Okay.
if it goes into residential areas, if we could check with the homeowners
Yeah.
before
Oh, yeah.
we paint
Absolutely.
them, make sure they're okay. Yeah, along his lines, just so that way we don't get
Third word
feed-
strong.
just so that way we don't get feedback, you know, a resident isn't happy because it's going to be in front of their
Sure.
house, so that'd be great. Thank you.
For locations that we thought maybe around like somewhere like Haven of Hope or Dazen's house, or,
It's a great idea too.
you know, one of those,
Yeah.
you know, where people definitely
Yeah.
could use the help.
Yep.
Farm, you know, there's probably
Yeah.
right out.
They're one of the partners. They are at one of our schools, and so they're going to provide some of the money. Hillside and Farnham are the ones that are going to provide the money as of right now.
I think it's great for them to start off in a commercial, predominantly commercial location,
Yep.
and not and stay away from people's front yards if we can.
Sure.
I think it's a great idea. Any other comments, questions? Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Ashline, Counselor Kennedy, roll call, please.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 8, the Zoning and Planning Office requests a recension of Resolution 129 dated April 27, 2026, approving use of public space for Michael Clunin to install a driveway expansion at 31 Bronson Street due to administrative errors. Mike, do you want me to take this one, or? Okay, well, Mr. Clunin applied for a permit to expand his driveway, to widen it. Come to find out, there was an error in reading of the right-of-ways for that particular street. So he had plenty of room to do it. He didn't need a permission to go into public space for his driveway. So this will just rescind that motion, and he'll be able to go ahead and do the driveway. Any questions, comments? Motion, please. Counselor Kennedy, Counselor Plunkett. Roll call, please.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Any other business that we need to take care of? Without that, could I please have a motion to adjourn? Counselor Kennedy, Counselor Ashline. Roll call, please.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes. And with that, I'd like to call the Human Services Committee to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Counselor Kennedy?
Here.
Counselor Thompson?
Here.
Counselor Ashline?
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the May 4th, 2026 committee meeting, please? Counselor Ashline, Counselor Thompson.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Thompson?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
I don't see any old business, so new business, under authorizations, authorization number 1, Chairman Chance Kennedy, request discussion regarding the installation of 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline signage at key locations throughout the city of Oswego. So is Gina here?
I didn't know if you would be able to see me over this podium. I was worrying this whole
You're
time,
right,
so.
you're right. So Gina and I spoke a little bit about this, and there's, the signage is in the packages and everything. So I will speak a little bit, and then you can fill in the gaps that I obviously will definitely miss.
Perfect.
But, so the signs themselves are already placed in Fulton, on the bridges, 2 bridges in Fulton. They, like they say, to reach out to 988 if you're in crisis. I had said that the bridges would be great for here in Oswego. I had also suggested that we put them in parks in the city. There are 19, according to the city website. I didn't realize there were many. But there are 19 parks in the city, including the Fort, Splash Pad, which I consider part of Brightback, but it's obviously not, and things like that. So the reason I suggested parks, to get on a little bit of a personal note, in 2009, my uncle had committed suicide in a park, and I feel that parks are a place to reflect, but also a place of solitude, and where people can do things that they shouldn't be. And if we can help with this initiative, save save one life, then we did our job. So with that, I'll let Gina speak on.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Good evening. My name is Gina Vaughn, and I am both a mental health professional in this community, but I was also born and raised in this community. And I'm here today during Mental Health Awareness Month to request support for this mental health initiative. Specifically, I'm proposing the installation of these 988 suicide and crisis lifeline signs at key locations throughout the city, being the bridges and the parks. These signs serve a simple but powerful purpose, connecting people in moments of crisis to immediate life-saving support. The 988 Lifeline is available 24/7. It's free and confidential, yet so many people still don't know it exists. Visibility matters, especially in public spaces where someone may be struggling in silence. This initiative is being done in partnership with the Oswego County Suicide Prevention Coalition and the Oswego County Division of Mental Hygiene, and they have committed to fully funding the Office of Mental Hygiene 10 signs free of cost to the city. They will purchase them and provide them to be able to put up at various locations. So this is our opportunity to not just talk about mental health awareness, but to show it in action. By placing these signs in visible, high-impact locations, we have an opportunity to take a small step that could make a life-saving difference. Thank you.
Any
Questions?
comments, questions? Councilor Lonsack?
How big are the signs? So there are 8, the ones that are, you could get various sizes. The ones that they had put up in Fulton were 18-inch by 18-inch signs.
And go ahead.
Are they on a pole or? So it would be the sign that's provided. I think it's just going to depend on the location, right? Like the Bridge Street Bridge, we have the light poles there, but there aren't necessarily poles, and it's kind of like the concrete handrail. So I think it would just really be a discussion on what's going to look the most aesthetic and be in an appropriate location.
That was my understanding, and I know that they said that they would pay for 10.
Mhm.
So for the other math, sorry, I know we wanted to do 2 on each. So wait, 4 on each bridge. 4 on each bridge, right? Because we want to do 1 on the beginning
one on
of the
each
bridge.
side.
On each
I mean, we
side.
could be open to suggestions, but I
Right.
figured like 1 on each side of.
I know that's what we
Yeah, the
talked-
bridge.
Okay, we talked about that. So, and then the other, say if we do all 19, my thought was we could reach out to a foundation like a Shinneman Foundation to get
Mhm.
funding for the other X amount of signs. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's hard right now.
I'm sure we can connect you with the Suicide Prevention
Or
Coalition
we- or
as
we
well.
can-
Yeah.
Yeah,
mhm.
we can reach out to other funding. To my knowledge, and this would be for Mr. Rebior. I feel like the cost of the city would be pretty minimal, just labor costs for the DPW to put up the signs, but please correct me if I'm incorrect in that.
So first I'll speak to placement of the signs. Specifically on the bridges, 100% correct. The light poles, I mean, we have the capability of attaching signs to light poles. There's no reason to, we don't need to install another base or another sign. Same with the parks. All the parks have light poles throughout the parks, or there are already signs in the parks. These signs can be added to those poles or to the light poles in appropriate locations. As far as the signs themselves, I did speak with Alex Dexter, our traffic maintenance supervisor. An 18 by 18 sign blank is a normal size. It's readily available. We do have our own sign shop. If we were provided with, I did get a PDF of the sign. You provided that in the email you sent me. If we had the actual, I forget the name of the actual file, artwork file, we could print these signs in-house. I'd be happy to have Alex work up an estimate of what that would cost. It would be minimal. The biggest cost would probably be I think you want it to be reflective and the background is black.
Ideally, we would like it, I think.
So the ones that they did in Fulton, they are reflective already. So the ones that the county, the Office of Mental Hygiene said that they could provide would be reflective material. But I'm certain as long as there was like a approval to use the like the 988, like their template, the PDF, then I don't think there'd be an issue to print them in-house at all.
Yes, I'm happy to have Alex work up a quick estimate of what it would cost to make it sounds like about 20 signs in addition to the 10 that are going to be donated.
Yeah, that would be great, and we can figure out how to pay for that. Once we have an estimate, we can put out feelers for how to get the money for that. Because besides that, what do you think it would just be like regular labor costs?
Minimal, right, okay. We're going to use people on staff. You're talking a couple nuts and bolts, maybe a band clamp. It's really minimal.
Can I suggest one more, please?
Absolutely.
On the west side, on the walking bridge, it's very close to the bridge entrance. But on the east side, the walking bridge is in between the two bridges, and maybe we should put one there as well.
Well, that's great, because Rotary Park.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, the Rotary Park is
Yeah.
right there. So,
Yeah.
like, that would be, yes, you're right, absolutely. So,
Yeah, I was already thinking 4 for Utica Street Bridge, 4 for Bridge Street Bridge, 2 for the pedestrian bridge, and then at least 1 in each park. Is that where we're?
that's what we're thinking.
To get started.
Most of the parks, well, some of the parks anyways, have an actual, like, what the park is named.
Yep.
And so I was thinking, and I don't, whatever, I'm open to ideas, but wherever that sign is, with the name of the sign, that would be where we would put it, but we could also figure out somewhere else too, like a lamp post or whatever. But that was just my initial brainstorm idea.
Okay.
But I'm open to whatever.
Yeah, well, I'll get that cost to you before council for next week, so you have a number to look at.
Perfect, okay. Any other?
So that cost would probably just come out of like the general fund or something like that, because we can't solicit for donations, so.
No, right.
We would have to probably fund that, right?
Yes, and that's where, we get a cost of what it would cost us to make 20 signs, whether we can absorb that in the traffic department DPW budget already, or if we would have to come to council and ask for a budget amendment.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very much for normalizing this topic and making it something that we're talking about. I think the message in the signs, is logistic, where we put them and how we can get them out there. I'd encourage us to look for other avenues to make this as part of our message, whether it's taglines on emails, whether it needs to be normalized in a way that it contains no stigma, and the threshold for people seeking services is not viewed to be have any hurdles. So again, as much as we can, whether it's signs, whether it's messaging, otherwise, we need to be as aggressive as we can to make sure that it's pervasively spoken of.
I'm standing before you as a resident of the city, not the city attorney. And I appreciate this discussion. I'm mindful of the month. I sympathize and empathize with anyone who has lost a loved one as a result of suicide. We're all touched by it. To me, 19, 20, 25 signs about the city of Oswego, 18 by 18 square inches, I think we're over-signing the city of Oswego with this message. It's an important message, but to your point, Counselor, there are other ways to get the message out. How about encouraging storefronts and business owners to put a sign in, the 988 sign? I have one in my office up on Oak Hill. I don't know how many people come in and out of my office and see it, but if it saves one life, it was worth it. I'm just concerned about the over-signage of our public spaces with this message, with such a sign like this. For all that we're doing here, we can do more with less in-your-face messaging. That's just my point, my position on this. I applaud it, I support it. I just caution you to temper the volume of signage like this across our public spaces. Thank you.
Counselor Thompson?
I'll respond to that comment. So if you have too many signs, this is kind of why I suggested 20 signs instead of 30. If you have too many, people stop paying attention to those signs. So if you really want people to really notice them, you don't want too many. So Dr. Ercole is right. You don't want to flood the city. I think they definitely should be on the bridges, maybe some of the major parks, but you don't want to put too many out because we have approved a lot of signs over the last couple months to be placed in public places. So you do have a valid point there, but I do think that these are important to be out there as well. So I think we just have to be mindful and find a balance and figure out what's going to work. So, thanks.
Mayor, did you
Hi,
have
Mayor.
a comment?
Thank you. I'd have to echo our city attorney's comments. This is an important topic, there's no doubt. One of the things that wasn't brought up, and I agree with Councilor Thompson that we probably should think about this and how many signs I know you mentioned earlier today about not having some sign up for 2.5 months. I agree with that. We don't need signs up for 2.5 months for an event. But one of the things that you may not be thinking about is the fact that this may be a good issue to broadcast and to remind people about, but what happens when there's other good intentions and people want to come to you, you approve 20, 22 signs, whatever it is for this. What about Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and they want 20 signs in various parks because children are in there? What about Alcoholics Anonymous? What about domestic violence hotlines? How about child protective hotlines? You're opening up the Pandora's box when you're going to allow all these signs, and I think our city attorney did point out there's other ways of getting the message out, but if you're going to put these signs in, be aware that other people with other good intentions and other good programs and good ideas will be coming to this council and asking for more signs to be put up in parks. Clear Path for Veterans is another thing. Arise, SNAP, and HEAP programs. I mean, I know that this is a specific topic about suicide, and I understand your motivation and why Councilor Kennedy wants to do this, but again, I think we've done a good job over the past 10, 11 years to try to stop the proliferation of signs. I know some people might not like it, but we put a restriction on for rent and for lease signs with that intention that they were up for weeks, if not months, if not years. So again, keep in mind, if you open the door for these signs, there'll be others that are going to be coming your way. And if you open the door for this one, how can you say no to Mothers Against Drunk Driving when they want signs? So something to think about.
I would say to that point, thank you for your input. The issue that I I feel like in our city and over the last good year or so, we've had at least 2 that I can think of off the top of my head, pretty decently high-profile cases of people committing suicide. One was I believe, a high school student who committed suicide because of bullying, because they were an immigrant, from an immigrant family. So, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, while it's a great cause, that isn't something that happens really in our city too much, as it does suicide because of our waterways. People have, I don't know, easier or whatever when you can jump off a bridge to commit suicide if that's what your intentions are. And so bringing this to light is something that we want to mitigate, and having these signs on the bridges. And as the authorization had said, it's key locations, so we don't have to put them in parks. That was just a suggestion that I had laid out, but I definitely think the bridges are key factors in this initiative, and we have 10 signs that are already paid for, per se, so we have 10 signs to work with, and if we use those 10 signs and put them in appropriate places around the city, including the bridges and maybe 1 or 2 parks, then that would be fantastic. We don't need to put them in all 19 of our parks in the city. I just suggested that as a suggestion, but I would like to at least kind of see them on the bridges, because that's a big factor for people that are suffering from mental illness. Councilor Thompson.
So if this goes forward, I would suggest maybe sticking to the bridges, and then instead of parks, maybe 1 on each side of the river on the walkway there. Because I think that's an area people go when they're feeling down. That's what I would suggest. Another option might be catch nets that you could put that tie into the bridge, so if someone were to jump over the bridge, it would actually catch them, and then they would be prevented from climbing over it. That's going to cost money. I'm not sure if that's really feasible right now, but I would probably limit to those locations, maybe the bridges and down by the walkway, 1 on each side. I think that'd be reasonable, perhaps.
I think that's great. And that's kind of why I left the phrasing as key locations. Could be anywhere to everywhere in the city. Just kind of spitballing. That's why I said parks. But there is an over proliferation of signs in the city. 100% agree with that, and we do need to be mindful of that. But I don't want to over exhaust the city with signs. That wasn't certainly not my intention to do that, but I just obviously passionate about this. So, but if we can get these in key locations, especially like I said, our bridges and the linear parks on the east and west side, I think that's a fantastic start. And if we think we need more later, we can look at that, like Mr. Rebior said. But I think 10 signs is a great starting point for us. Councilor Thompson.
Now, this is just to discuss, it's not to actually approve it, correct?
At this point, this is just to kind of discuss this. If we want to move forward with this, which I hope we do, we can put this on next committee's agenda for a resolution to get this approval going.
Okay.
They'll
give us some time to get some feedback from residents.
We can get some feedback for sure.
What
If
the
this
thoughts
is
are.
an avenue we want to take, we can look at this again in June sometime or some other.
Can I speak again to my?
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
I just kind of wanted to circle back.
Yes.
I appreciate the perspective too, because as I'm excited about, oh my gosh, 30 signs, let's do this. Aesthetically, yes, that might be overwhelming to just see signs plastered everywhere. So, 10 signs I was very excited about. If that's kind of the starting point, then, it's a start. But I did want to circle back to another comment that was made about kind of missing the signs, and sometimes they're there, right? And if we notice it because it's new or we haven't seen it before, and then it just kind of becomes part of the scenery. But for someone who is in a crisis, that could be very, very different. And it may not be a sign, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a sign that's the thing that catches their attention. It may be someone walking out of the door at Dunkin' Donuts before the bridge that said, hey, how are you today? And acknowledge that person. But this sign is just another sort of attempt to try to reach somebody with the number that, you know, the 988. That number used to be a different number, and I couldn't even tell you what the number is. I think it was a 10-digit number. And so that part of this initiative was to shorten the number so that it was easier so people didn't have to remember, or in a moment of crisis, we're not always thinking clearly and logically. So I know that there has, since 988 rolled out, there has been a significant increase in the use of that. And so the hope is that even if it was one sign, I would love it to be 10, if it was only 5, if it was only 1, if it saves one life, you're right, that was worth it. And certainly, you know, I'd be happy to speak with businesses and sort of, you know, get engagement with getting more signs in the window. I actually was able to, through one of the 988 partners, I got an entire box full of 988 like merch and gear and stickers and posters that I can, for free. They provide it to mental health providers for free. So unfortunately, these signs weren't something that they had, you know, but I also don't want to go around sticking 988 stickers all over the city. So, okay, that was all. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think this with Councilor Lautensack's initiative as well is a great message, because this is also, in a way, helping the entire city in a different way, but it's different but the same, where we can bring a light to somebody that is in crisis with mental health. The fire hydrants are a great way to brighten somebody's day, and I do like that all kids from all kinds are doing that, which is fantastic. So I think, you know, if we only do these 10 signs and we have the fire hydrants, I think, you know, if that's what we need, if that's all we can get, fine, it's fantastic, because we have a fire hydrant initiative, which I think might take off with the city. So, you know, I'm all for this. But yeah, this is just kind of to get the feelers out at this point. If this is something that we as a council would like to pursue, we can put this on the agenda for June and get the approval from the council, and then move this forward to getting DPW to put up the signs and go from there. So with that, can I get a motion?
Motion for,
I don't know, I don't know what I'm doing.
Then answer the discussion.
To end the discussion? I guess. What? Oh, close the meeting? Okay, never mind. Sorry. Never mind. A motion to adjourn, please. Councilor Ashline, Councilor Thompson. What? A what? Oh, vote on it? Oh.
Second.
even though it's just a discussion.
I guess a point of procedural order, if there is an action to be taken, a resolution to be prepared, we can prepare one, but we would need the defined terms of that resolution. If you're not prepared to present that this evening, perhaps I'd suggest that we take the 1 week cycle, 2 week cycle, come up with a resolution that covers all of the points that were discussed tonight, and then bring it up for a vote. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So then I think the motion to adjourn would be the appropriate motion at this time.
Okay, so, wait, I'm sorry, Councilor Caracoli, sorry. So, I shouldn't put a motion to do this, to do what you just said?
Well, I don't know what you're
Well, no,
doing.
I want to put forward a resolution at a later time of what we discussed today.
Yeah.
So, that should be what I apologize. That should be what I say now, so we can get a vote on this for a later time. Is that correct? I'm sorry.
There's no action to be taken other than an aspirational action,
Okay.
right? You're going to put something together in the future. You don't need to vote on that tonight. I mean, if you wanted to vote on authorizing the acquisition of the 10 signs and the placement of those signs, I heard very clearly, but then there was some additional discussion.
Okay.
We could prepare a resolution to that effect, but if you wanted to take the time to make a comprehensive resolution and cover all of the points that were discussed tonight, I'd suggest that we take at least the 2-week cycle and do it that way.
Okay. Counselor Thompson.
Yeah, I would suggest waiting 2 weeks so we can get some feedback from constituents, and come up with a clear plan for these, and then at the next committee meeting, just have a resolution if we decide to go forward with it. I think that makes sense.
That makes sense to me.
The only thing I would like to put forward tonight is a resolution to accept, on behalf of the Office of Mental Health, the signs themselves, not for the placement of the signs, but to accept the signs on behalf of them for the city of Oswego. Is that something that?
Sure, we can prepare that.
Okay. So that would be what I would like to put forward today, and then in 2 weeks, we can decide placement, key areas of the city of where those signs can be placed. But for now, I would like to put forward a motion to accept the signs, the 10 signs that are going to be donated by the Office of Mental Health for placement, to be discussed at a later time. Can I get a motion? Counselor Ashline? Counselor Thompson?
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Thompson?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Now, at this point, can I get a motion to adjourn? Counselor Thompson? Counselor Ashline?
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Thompson?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Committee is adjourned.
At this time, I'd like to call to order the Administrative Services Committee. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Plunkett?
Here.
Counselor Meyer?
Here.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Here.
Counselor Lautensack?
Here.
Counselor Ashline?
Here. Like a motion to approve the minutes of the May 4th, 2026 committee meeting, please. Counselor Meyer, Counselor Fitzgibbons.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes. Is there any old business? Let's move on to new business. Item 1 under authorization. Craig Rebuor, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, requests authorization for the City Chamberlain to complete a transfer of funds in the amount of $37,342.53 from the Street Lighting Materials and Supplies account to the Garage Contracted Services account for Scribus Street Lighting. Mr. Commissioner?
Councilors, good evening. Some of you are thinking, why do we need to spend all this money on these new streetlights? The council last year, the mayor and myself, were wise enough to put $50,000 into the street lighting budget for maintenance and repair, even though they are new. The light fixture themselves are under warranty. However, getting power to them is not. The arms and the mechanical pieces to hang the lights are not under warranty. So if a light gets knocked down, say a traffic accident, or the wind blows one down, which we've had happen, those are not covered. When we did purchase the light fixture, the street lights from National Grid, we also purchased the infrastructure that goes with them. There's a lot of underground infrastructure. There's a lot of overhead wiring as well. There were deficiencies in some of that wiring. That was not part of the project. The project was to replace the light fixture, not to repair the wiring to go to the light fixture. So that's why we've employed Scriba Electric, who is our maintenance, one of our electrical maintenance contractors on contract with the city of Oswego, and they've done a fantastic job diagnosing and repairing and getting the streetlights working. Where we had a new light fixture that didn't have power to it, so they're making those corrections. This is a transfer of funds from the materials and supplies account to contracted services to cover that cost. As you can see before you, $37,000 in some odd dollars to date. That's not all the billing. They were out today making repairs, identifying issues. We did find an issue that was National Grid's problem, so National Grid is on the hook for the one down on Lake Street that they're taking care of across from Gibby's there. Any questions, comments?
Counselor Thompson?
So how many lights does this impact, this work right here? Is it just a couple, or is it like the whole block?
I don't have a count on how many they've repaired. It's a significant amount at that at this point, though, that just didn't have power. So you had sections, there were sections like right across from City Hall here where there were 5 or 6 lights out. That was a underground wiring issue. They fixed the underground wire and got those 5 lights working. They're East First Street, in front of the Broadwell property, same thing. There was a fusing issue in the fuse panel. They repaired that, got that whole block on East First between Bridge and Hugo back working. Instances like that, and then there's some individual ones as well in the neighborhoods, whether a nick in the wire, bad wiring, etc. So it really varies, and I don't have a number. The last number I had was 70 outages still, but Siemens has brought their contractor back in. Actually, they're supposed to be here this week. We expect to see them the remainder of this week. Hewitt Electric in Harlan is the subcontractor for them to come and go after those 70 that are out that we don't know why they're out. We don't know if it's a fixture or if it's an electrical problem. If it's an electrical problem, it's on us. If it's the fixture, again, it's under warranty, and they will replace that at their cost.
Okay, so we might get future resolutions for additional funding to repair those.
That is quite possible, yes.
Okay. So this one's for roughly $37,000 for Scriba Street. That's just those 2 blocks? Or
Scriba Electric. It says
Okay.
Scriba on there. It's
Yeah.
not worded correctly.
So that probably needs to be amended, Counselor Plunkett, the wording.
I believe the resolution says Scriba Electric.
Does it?
No?
The title's showing
Yeah, no, this
Scriba
is-
Street lighting.
The reference to Scriba is the contractor, Scriba Electric Incorporated.
Counselor Kennedy?
Because there is a Scriba Street.
Yes, there is a Scriba Street.
Okay, so
Yeah,
there's
it's
just
Yes.
that little, because it's a little street. Like, it was just that street, or if it was Scriba, the town?
I don't recall if we had any specific outages on Scriba Street. No, this is not the town of Scriba. We may have had an outage on Scriba Street. I don't recall. There were many. But no, that reference to Scriba in there should be for the contractor, Scriba Electric.
Thank you.
Counselor Lautensack?
I just had one question. You mentioned accidents. So when it's an accident, do we go after the people's insurance?
Yes.
Okay.
Counselor Thompson?
So just to go back, could we amend that title to represent what's actually?
Yeah, we're just missing that word
going
electric after Scriba. Scriba Electric Street Lighting.
Thank you.
No, not Scriba Electric Street.
What?
Scriba Electric Incorporated, I believe.
There you go.
It's reference to the contractor, not a street or the town.
Thanks.
Perfect. Any other questions for the commissioner? Now, can I get a motion, please? Counselor Ashline, Counselor Lautensack.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Okay, item 2 under authorization. Director of Information Technology Steve Coffey requests authorization for the city chamberlain to complete a budget amendment in the amount of $16,671.20 to the computer materials and supplies account to implement a replacement access control system for City Hall. Mr. Coffey?
Councilors, good evening. You should in your packet have the quote for this project. I also sent an email last Monday with a brief explanation and opening up for some questions. But to give a quick overview, we currently have a door controller system here at City Hall that's malfunctioning, which presents some security issues. We're looking to replace that. It was an unforeseen project, which is why we're looking for the budget amendment to cover that. We've decided to go, or would like to go with the Verkada system, as that integrates directly with our new security cameras that we're putting in, which further down the road in capital improvement planning is going to be a larger initiative to start covering more of our buildings, so we can start having a more unified access control system for the city. We've looked at, got some rough estimates from another local vendor. We, in the past, have tried another brand, Councilor Fitzgibbons. We talked about Ubiquity earlier. We didn't really like that. Some of the features were missing that we would prefer to have, so we're just trying to get this done. I did hear recently from Usherwood, who is the Verkada reseller, that at the 29th of this month, pricing for the hardware will go up. So assuming that this makes it past committee, passes council, that gives me 4 days in that same week to execute the agreement before price increases.
Counselor Thompson?
Quick question, will this increase any cost of support contracts or anything like that going forward?
So no, I don't believe what you're asking. We are going to be obligated to every 5 years. There's a licensing fee with the hardware that goes to essentially pay for the cloud-based features of the system, but I don't think it's going to obligate us to any future support contracts or anything like that, if that answers what you're looking for.
Any other questions? Now, can I get a motion?
Quick question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Counselor Ashline?
This system, is that just for the City Hall building?
Yep, so this will be, if we do this will be site one of that. My hope is, and working with the mayor for our 5-year capital improvement plans, throughout the future, I'd like to start integrating it at the other locations that have either RFID or just simply keypad access, so that way it gives a one central point of control. But for this instance, yes, this will just be for the 2 doors down in the basement.
This is all low voltage cabling you'll be running, right?
Yep, it will.
Counselor Lautensack?
Going off of Sheen's question, if we implement this in other locations, is there an additional hardware service fee?
So it's the licensing fee is per device. So, and it's granular to how many doors you have controlled. So we'll take, as an example, the police department has the 1 door with keypad. We'd only be paying the license on the 1 door. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I do believe that at a certain volume, that price becomes negotiable.
Any other questions? Now, can I get a motion? Counselor Lautensack? Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Thank you, Steve. Move on to item 3 under authorization. The Office of Economic Development requests authorization for the city chamberlain to complete a transfer of funds in the amount of $52,000 from the Tourism Contracted Services account to the Office of Economic Development CDA account for the special events budget.
Good evening.
Hi, Abby.
So this is just part of our normal operating budget. It was passed in the 2026 budget, and we have different lines within that. The tourism and promotion line covers a couple different expenses, part of that being some of our special events. So it's just transferring that $52,000 over to the CDA budget so that we can cut the checks and pay for some of the events coming up this year.
Anybody have any questions? Now, can I get a motion, please? Counselor Lautensack? Counselor Meyer?
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Item 4 under authorization. The Office of Economic Development requests authorization for the city chamberlain to accept funding in the amount of $5,000 from the Oswego County Tourism and Planning for planning the Independence Day celebration. Abby?
So this year is the 250th anniversary. With that, we're trying to go a little bigger for our Independence Day celebration. So it's not just the parade, but we have the parade and the block party, 2 separate events. And the county is helping to support that so we can have a little more entertainment this year.
Any questions or comments? Now, can I get a motion, please? Counselor Lautensack? Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Thank you, Abby. Item 5 under authorization. Craig Rebuor, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, requests discussion to operate and maintain the Oswego Little League bathrooms for public use. Commissioner?
Councilors, good evening again. Through discussion with various people, and you may have encountered this in Mr. Ashline, I don't know if you have any, it's being in your ward. A lot of people use the Fort Ontario complex, which includes the Oswego Little League players, Safe Haven, the fort, the pool, the rink. There's a walking path. There's a lot of activity over there during the day. You see, especially with summertime, pick up, you still get some kickball games or soccer games going on in the fields over there. You can pick up baseball games and such. people have identified the need for a public bathroom. We don't have a public bathroom in that area, other than the pool, and that's limited to pool use. Limited to pool hours. Would be difficult to open that to the general public for various reasons. So speaking with Mr. Kerwin, President of Oswego Little League, partnering with them and using their bathrooms in their concession stand, the city would operate and maintain them. They have new fixtures. They've updated their fixtures in the building. They need a little maintenance, maybe some paint and such, but we would clean them, keep them open during the day, open them up in the morning, open during the day, keep an eye on them, keep them clean, take the garbage out, clean them at the end of the night, and lock them up. He's in favor of it. Mr. Caracoli, we do have a legal agreement with Oswego Little League that I believe would need to be amended, and Mr. Caracoli can speak to that. Any questions?
Councilor Meyer?
Would we have the personnel to go ahead and do that, or would that be an additional person, or?
There'll be one more stop for the personnel that's already out there doing it every day.
Okay.
Yep.
Councilor Lautensack?
Are there going to be like certain months when we were thinking about, or are we keeping this open all year round?
My intent is park season, which is, March, mid-March, we start opening bathrooms, and we run through, Little League usually wraps up, they do their late fall ball in like October. So by the end of October, we'd be closing the bathroom, turning the water off, and winterizing the building.
Any other questions or comments?
Do you have any problems with vandalism in the other open bathrooms?
All the time.
All the time?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
It's a common thing. I say all the time. It's a common thing. Mostly graffiti. We've gotten very good at removing graffiti, though.
Any other questions or comments? Not, can I get a motion, please? Councilor Lautensack? Councilor Ashline?
One question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilor Thompson?
I think city attorney wanted to speak.
I'm sorry.
Just, we'll, again, revise the resolution to clarify that this represents a modification of the management agreement between the City of Oswego and the City Little League. So with that, I have no problem with a motion to adopt the resolution, but just, it will be modified slightly. You'll get it in your packets later this week. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. I already have a motion from Councilor Lautensack and a second from Councilor Ashline.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes. Okay. Item 6 under authorization. Mayor Robert A. Corradino requests favorable consideration by the Common Council to approve a priority docking agreement with American Cruise Lines Incorporated. Mr. City Attorney?
Thank you. I believe the mayor's passing the ball to me, and yeah, and I appreciate it. I don't want to overstate or undersell what this discussion we're about to have and the potential action that we're going to be taking, but this is a really big deal, and it's a fun way, an exciting way to wrap up this meeting, in my opinion. I hope you agree. In your packet is the docking facilities agreement between the City of Oswego and American Cruise Line. I can tell you it is not the final version. I just got one within the last day that adds additional sweeteners, if you will, to the revenue stream that the city will receive from hosting American Cruise Lines. So American Cruise Lines has agreed to this year 7 individual cruises. They are one-way cruises. The first one launches from the Cahill Pier on Saturday. For those who want to stick around and stay up late, maybe the hockey game tonight goes into overtime and you got to burn off some energy. The vessel, all 245 feet and about 60 feet wide of it, will be coming in at around midnight here at Cahill Pier. It'll stay here for the balance of this week and then invite its passengers on Saturday, and they'll launch. And of course, you've already appropriated and approved events for Saturday. That's just the first stop. It'll come back 6 more times this year. It also is committed already to 8 individual cruises in 2027, and another 8 at least in 2028. They want to be here for the long haul, and this agreement is reflective of that. It's a 10-year agreement with 2 5-year extensions, and as far as the costs are concerned, we've been working on this for a number of months now. Mayor Cordino, DPW Commissioner Rebior, myself principally, but others have been involved in putting this together. American Cruise Line's proposing to pay $3 per linear foot for each docking, and then an additional $3 per linear feet per day that the ship is docked in Oswego. So for instance, comes in tonight, maybe it comes in after 12 o'clock, so, but for the next 5 days that it's here, we would be getting $3 per linear foot, so that's, if you're doing the math, it's $735 a day for the docking of that vessel. In addition to that, they propose to pay $2 per passenger per trip, embarking and disembarking. Again, these are one-way trips, so as they get on the boat, that's $2 for every 130 passengers. That's the maximum capacity. I can tell you that I believe, with the exception of one cruise that's still being filled, they're all sold out for this year, and actually most of them for next year, and they're nearly sold out for 2028. So every time they embark, it's $2. When they come back and disembark, it's $2. What's interesting about the coming back, they come back on, let's say, a Saturday, and a day or two they get the boat ready, and they welcome a new set of passengers, and off they go. So that's, in effect, $2 for each, so $4 for every coming and going. In addition to that, and what's not in your packet, is the latest agreement, because we argued that, well, that's all well and good today, but 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now, those costs need to meet inflation. So they're agreeing to a 5% increase every 2 years, so 2.5%, which is roughly about the cost of inflation. I tracked it back 40 years, and the cost of inflation for $1 since 1986 to present is about $2.8%, right? So we're generally in line there. In addition to that, though, and I want you to keep in mind, I don't believe this administration sees this as just a money grab. It's a wonderful opportunity to showcase our community. These are individuals that have disposable income. They're usually of retirement age, and if they like a community, they typically come back to those communities on their own. And I know this in talking with other communities, other organizations that host American Cruise Line specifically, and then have repeat customers. And we're in a unique position because we're also a National Marine Sanctuary, not headquartered, but principally headquartered here in the city of Oswego. Alpena, Michigan, who is also a marine sanctuary, they welcome American Cruise Lines. As a result of American Cruise Lines, they've attracted other cruise line companies to come into Little Alpena, Michigan, and the economy there is benefited significantly from this. So I like to look at this as an economic development opportunity, an opportunity to showcase the community. As those passengers spend any additional time here, they're going to be spending their money here. And so hopefully you look at it in the same way. Also mindful that we don't want it to cost the city any money. We have had some improvements made. We put bollards on Cahill Pier. If you've been down there, you'll see them. The DPW did that work. It's great. The American Cruise Line signed off on it. They're ready to come. They're coming tonight. And they want to use our water. And so we've agreed to hook up a meter and a backflow prevention device, and they are paying for the metered water at the metered rate. This will all be billed to them on a regular, probably monthly basis as we incur those expenses. Again, we've checked with other communities that have hosted American Cruise Line and other cruises. This is pretty standard for those communities, the arrangement, so we have no reason to doubt that it won't work well here. And just so you know, between the bollards and the water meter installation, backflow prevention, it was about almost $19,000 that they are agreeing to reimburse. And if there are any other needs or improvements that are required by American Cruise Line, they're agreeable to paying for those. They did propose, I will just, as a matter of transparency, they asked, or in the original contract, they wanted us to provide trash service. We told them we don't do trash service here, but we can provide them with a list of haulers. They called around, and each one of the haulers that are on our licensed list were recommending placing a big roll-off down at Cahill Pier. We didn't like that. The company didn't like that. They found another vendor who was willing to do a live load, right? So they come in and take it off, and off they go. The only challenge was they weren't on our list. So we worked it out, and now we've got another new major hauler on our list because they're agreeable to doing that. So I think this is going to work out well, but I know I've talked for a little while. You may have some questions. I'm happy to field them.
Councilor Thompson?
I think this is great. This is a 3-year contract, or is this?
It's actually a 10-year contract.
It's a 10-year. It's like it mentions 3 years in the communication, so I just want to make sure.
I may have misspoke. We have 3 years that they have put out their schedule for cruises, but it's written as a 10-year agreement with 2 5-year extensions.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Councilor Fitzgibbons?
Yeah, I see that we give access to the delivery vehicles. That's kind of unencumbered in terms of their access. I would hope that we have some call and response of what works well down there. You know, especially you saw the trash issue, saw it and addressed it, but we'd hate to be contractually bound to allowing things to happen that we might not have any control. So I just make that comment to make sure the relationship is respectful of access to that area and use of the area by citizens in the community. The second thing is that we ask for the vendor to provide workers' comp coverage statutory to the state of New York. As a vessel of the high seas, subject to the Jones Act and the United States Harbor Workers Act, those are two much significantly higher benefits that their injured employees would have to have. So we would want to make sure that we're consistent with the request for the Jones Act and the Harbor Workers Act to be included as far as the benefits that they'll be telling us that they'll be providing to their crew. I'm sure they do, but I think we should contractually make sure that's in there.
I'll run that by them. They are well-versed in maritime law. We did have an issue with respect to Immigration Control, Border Patrol last week that came up. There was some paperwork that wasn't just quite right. The company got right on it, and before the day was out, it was all squared away.
Sure.
Great. Other questions or comments?
Yes, one from myself, So I can't speak on the Port of Oswego Authority on any of this matter. Being maritime industry, has anyone ever reached out to us for navigable waterways, just to make sure that things are communicated with us, because we do have vessels coming in this week. So I know they're discharging.
Everything is coordinated. Yeah, I mean, this is the captain of the ship has been to Oswego, I believe a couple of times now, at least that I'm aware of. So have every confidence. There was a concern with a sandbar that's out in the middle of the two piers between the, basically out front of the Coast Guard, a little bit further to the west. Well, they're well aware of it.
And that was going to be my follow-up, was that, 'cause I know that's there too.
They're well aware of it. In your packet, I believe, is the defined docking space. They need roughly 75 feet by 490 feet. Commissioner will tell you, I don't know the exact footage, but it's between 900 and 1,000 feet of dock space there. When I referenced all of that and the sandbar, and there's some concrete moorings that were put in previously when the yacht club was out there. Company's aware of all of it, and they have a high degree of confidence that they'll be able to come right in. They said they berth their vessels in tighter quarters than what we are giving them. I will say, because I was there, I think the commissioner was there, I know the mayor was there, when the representatives from American Cruise Line first came to visit on a very cold and blustery day, and I think it was October. When they looked at the Kill Hill Pier, they turned to us and said, "Did you make this for us?" Literally, they just thought that this was an ideal location. So I think that day really sealed it for the company, and here we are today, later tonight, welcoming the first cruise line I don't have the history. I know the city used to host cruise lines way back in the day, but this is certainly, I think, a historic moment.
I think historically in the 30s, there was a ferry that went to Picton, Ontario, and that was where it docked.
Right. Yeah.
In 1930s.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Now, can I get a motion? Councilor Lautensack, Councilor Meyer.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Anybody have anything else? Now, can I get a motion to adjourn, please? Councilor Lautensack, Councilor Ashline.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Okay.